Hi there, it's Graham again, and today I'm back with part 2 of my January book haul. In the last video, I think I showed you 12 books. In this video, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that brings the total to 21 so far in January. 21 books. There probably won't be many more, if any, at all. I'm working for the next couple of days and I don't have any time to myself. So that's probably going to be all the books I will haul in January, all the books I will purchase. I think I might need to put myself on a book buying ban, but the last time I did that, it was my idea of absolute living hell. So we'll see. But anyway, let's get into the video. So the first book that I am going to show you, I already have the paperback edition of this and have read it, but I wanted the hardback edition because my husband and I are going to be meeting the author in April in St Andrews, and I cannot wait. I actually cannot wait. I loved this book when I read it. It was either last year or the year before. I think it was the year before. I think it was 2017. I absolutely love this book, but the condition of this edition breaks my heart, so I may have to rebuy it in a nicer condition, because I can't imagine handing this to the author and saying, please can you sign this book, and it's Ratty and Torn. So it's Nutshell by Ian McEwan. I adore this book. I love this book so much. I first heard about it on Sophie Carlon's BookTube channel, and I had to go out and buy it. I had to, absolutely. So here's what the book's about. Trudy has betrayed her husband, John. She's still in the marital home, a dilapidated, priceless London townhouse. But John's not here. Instead, she's with his brother, the profoundly banal Claude, and the two of them have a plan, but there is a witness to their plot, the inquisitive 9-month-old resident of Trudy's womb. Told from a perspective unlike any other, Nutshell is a classic tale of murder and deceit from one of the world's master storytellers. It's awesome, it's absolutely incredible, but this edition, I don't know if you can see, but it's ratty. It's kind of torn. It wasn't expensive. It's second hand, but it's heartbreaking because the book's only a couple of years old. So either someone's just not cared for this book, or they've thrown it into their bag and enjoyed it and carried it around with them, and that's lovely, but not for me, sorry. So the next one is The Diary of a Farmer's Wife, 1796 to 1797. I'm not sure who the author is of this. Anne Hughes, a farmer's wife, lived in a remote country farmhouse near Chepstow, Monmouthshire, in the late 18th century. For a year in her life, 1796 to 1797, she kept a diary of daily events, great and small. At the end of the 19th century, this fascinating tale was passed down by Anne's daughter to Jean Preston, who tells it here again in all its charm and simplicity. Jean Preston's account was first published in instalments in Farmer's Weekly in 1937. On Christmas Day, 1978, BBC Television showed a specially made film of Anne's life as a farmer's wife. That sounds so cute, and I can't wait to get to it. And it has these really pretty illustrations every now and again, and it's just, yeah, so nice. I'm kind of hoping it's going to be like The Diary of a Nobody. That book was brilliant. I loved that book. I loved it so much. But yeah, anyway, on to the next book. I already have multiple editions probably of this book because it's by one of my all-time favourite authors, but I've not got this edition, and this edition is so pretty. It's a a facsimile edition of the first edition, and they do it with mirrors by Agatha Christie. It's Agatha Christie. I mean, it's Agatha Christie. I love it. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot and lot. A conjuring trick has a fascination all its own, a magic that survives from childhood days. When one saw with open-eyed awe one's first rabbit emerging from a top hat, the basic principle of the magician's art is, of course, to rivet the attention of the audience on detail so as to distract attention from the essential, to create the illusion of doing one thing while actually employed with something else. In her new novel, They Do It With Mirrors, Agatha Christie successfully demonstrates how a clever criminal can employ such tactics to get away with murder. Miss Marple, that deceptively meek and mild spinster lady, is staying with her old school friend, Carrie Louise Sericold, at Stonygates, a country house turned into a college for juvenile delinquents. The college is run by her husband, Louis Sericold, an energetic idealist with a passion for reforming young criminals. When Christian Gulbranson, Carrie Louise's stepson, comes to see Louis Sericold and is shot dead soon after his arrival, it seems impossible that anyone in the household could have had the opportunity to commit the crime. Yet it is only one amongst them who could have... Crackly fire. Where am I? Yet it is only one amongst them who could have any plausible motive. In a succession of dramatic situations, the clear-thinking, far-seeing Miss Marple penetrates an artfully contrived smokescreen and exposes a totally unexpected murder. I've never read this one, but I'm sure I've seen the Marple adaptation on television, and I really enjoyed it. So I look forward to getting to this one. Sorry for my dodgy reading skills then. I was completely put off by the... As if on cue! Oh, it's brilliant. I love it. I'll do better the next time. So the next one is another Agatha Christie, and it's another facsimile of a first edition. And this one is The Moving Finger by Agatha Christie. And it's really quite cute. It's got spiderweb and pillar box letters, typewriters, airplanes. I think that looks like a skiing man. A skier? A ski enthusiast? Anyway. As a place to convalesce after... Start again, Graham. As a place to convalesce after a bad flying crash, Limstock sounded ideal. So thought Jerry Burton when he took a house there for himself and his sister Joanna. But they soon discovered that the undercurrents of this placid backwater were both swift and dangerous. A poison pen was hard at work sending letters which were usually as ridiculous as they were unpleasant, until one day the shaft struck home and death resulted. Who could it be in this peaceful old world village who was bent on creating chaos? The police found many suspects, and their investigations revealed some surprising facts, but they didn't find the criminal, and the letters went on circulating. It needed an expert in human wickedness to solve the mystery of the moving finger. Here is Mrs. Christie at her most subtle and most entertaining. Anything by Agatha Christie is subtle and entertaining. She's just Agatha Christie. What more can I say? It's amazing. So the next book, we're kind of halfway through, guys. I'll be in a minute. Right, so the next one is a book, a book by an author that I have never read before, although I have seen this person on television. They were a huge comedian back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and think possibly the 90s. I'm not sure he's alive anymore. I think he passed away. And on his gravestone it says, "I told him I was ill." I love it. So this is The Murphy by Spike Milligan. This looks incredible. It's a really skinny one, so it'll not take long at all. A new novel from Spike Milligan. Clearly not new. Just saying. Murphy was one of the 5 brothers, born to Elizabeth and William Murphy of 5 Holborn Street, Sligo. The family was desperately poor. The 5 boys were all shabbily dressed, so much so that when Father Finlay visited, their mother gave the boys a plate of bread and butter and hid them in the bedroom. The priest arrived. Elizabeth had laid out a high tea for him and a glass of Jameson's. After an hour, a voice came from the bedroom. "More bread and butter or we come out, shabby clothes and all." That sounds brilliant. I can't wait to get to that. That sounds really good. And it's, yeah, it kind of, I don't know, for some reason it makes me think of golf. I don't know why. It just makes me think of golf. Strange. So the next one is one that I've seen all over the place, and I've toyed with the idea of getting it on and off and on and off. But I just finally decided that I wanted it, and I had to have this specific edition because I'm not right in the brain box. It's the vintage classics edition of The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter, and this is a collection of retellings of fairy tales told from a feminist perspective, and I cannot wait to get to this because that sounds incredible, absolutely incredible. She can glide from ancient to modern, from darkness to luminosity, from depravity to comedy, without any hint of strain and without losing the elusive power of the original tales. From familiar fairy tales and legends, Red Riding Hood, Bluebeard, Puss in Boots, Beauty and the Beast, vampires and werewolves, Angela Carter has created an absorbing collection of dark, sensual, fantastic stories. And it's been blurred by Ian McEwan. Magnificent set pieces of fastidious sensuality. What more praise can be given to a book by such an esteemed author? It's amazing. And Hannah over at Hannah Tay read this recently and said that she loved it. So again, yeah, if Hannah likes it, it's got to be good. So yeah. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that this is my favourite book of all time. The main character is my bae. My absolute bae. I love it. And I collect editions of this book, and I think I might do a mini-series on my collections of this book. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. This is the Barnes & Noble leatherbound edition, and it's the purple one. I have the pink one somewhere in my collection. I have lots. I have lots of editions of this book, and I absolutely love Alice. I've often seen a cat without a grin, but a grin without a cat? It's the most curious thing I ever saw in my life. It's Alice! It's Alice! It's Alice, guys! I love it! It's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. Absolutely. And the illustrations in this are the original Tenniel illustrations. And they're in colour. And it's just, it's Alice. It's Alice. Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. So that's my Alice book. So the next one, second last one, almost done, almost there. You can go and have a cup of tea in a minute and get away from me and my droning on. I saw this on Sophie Carlon's page. BookTube channel. I'm just not with it today. I'm just not with it. Absolutely not with it. So I saw this on Sophie Carlon's channel recently. I think it was quite an old video. It was a suggestion on my YouTube, and when I saw it, I was like, I need that. I need that in my life. I need that in here. It has to be taken from the book, put in here. It's The Trees by Ali Shaw. I mean, just look how gorgeous this book is. It's so beautiful, and it's almost like textured, and it's leaves, and obviously it makes up the face of the fox, and it's just so beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. There came an elastic aftershock of creaks and groans, and then, softly, softly, a chinking shower of rubbled cement. Leaves calmed and trunks stood serene, where not a minute before had lain a suburb. There was now only woodland standing amid ruins. There is no warning, no chance to prepare. They arrive in the night, thundering up through the ground, transforming streets and towns into shadowy forest. Buildings are destroyed, broken bodies, still wrapped in tattered bed linen, hang among the twitching leaves. Adrian Thomas has never been much of a hero, but when he realises that no help is coming, he ventures out into the unrecognisable world. Michelle, his wife, is across the sea in Ireland. He has no way of knowing whether the trees have come for her too. Then Adrian meets green-fingered Hannah and her teenage son, Seb. Together, they set out to find Hannah's forester brother, to reunite Adrian with his wife, and to discover just how deep the forest goes. Their journey will take them to a place of terrible beauty and violence, to the dark heart of nature and the darkness inside themselves. That sounds glorious. Glorious. And it's so pretty. I love it. Love it. Right, so to me, in my opinion, I've saved the best to last. This was a gift from my husband. He pre-ordered it months ago, before Christmas. I think even before my birthday, which is in November. I love it. I love it. As a fan of Doctor Who, to me, this is like, I love it. Absolutely love it. Scratchman by Tom Baker. Just take a minute. Just take a minute to look at that. Isn't it pretty? Oh, I love it. We're not really here for a picnic, are we, Doctor? Asked Sarah. No, I agreed. Something's brought the TARDIS here. Something good? Something evil? She paused and sighed. It's going to be something evil, isn't it? It's Doctor Who. And the fact that it has Sarah Jane Smith in it. I love it. Love it. I love it so much. Absolutely. So the story behind this is that Tom Baker originally wrote this as a movie script, like years and years ago, and then it recently came to light, and he adapted it into a novel with the help of a man named James Goss. So I can't wait to get to this. My husband has downloaded the audio book, and he's going to listen to that. So I think there might be a bit of a buddy read going on. My husband is registered as partially sighted, so blind. He has no field of vision on his left side, so he has very little vision. And there's an app that he has that he gets free audiobooks, because obviously he can't see to read. And it's amazing. Some of the books that are on there, I mean, all the Harry Potters are on there. He's just read Major Pettigrew's Last Stand by Helen Simonson. That was on there. There's loads, absolutely loads, and it's such an amazing thing for someone who can't see, because audiobooks are expensive, and if you are blind, you can't see through no fault of your own, yeah, you should be able to have these things available. So yeah, you should, because the way I see it is audiobooks are far more expensive than books, far more expensive than hard copy books, absolutely. So the fact that there is a resource out there for blind people, partially sighted people, I think that's incredible, and it means that we can buddy read things. He listens, I read. It's incredible. I love it. I absolutely love it. Anyway, guys, I've rambled on far too much. I have been awake since like 5:30 this morning. I'm absolutely knackered. I probably shouldn't have filmed this video because I'm just so tired. I probably haven't made sense. If I haven't, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's part 2 of my book haul, my January book haul. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. It means so much to me, absolutely so much. I love it. I love you all. I love books. I love doing this. I love talking about books. I just love it. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to prattle on and to be me, just me. I don't have to hide anything. I don't have to put up walls or falseness. It's just me. It's just unedited me, 100% me. Anyway, yeah, I've gone on. I've blathered. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely evening. Whatever you're doing, stay safe. Stay amazing. Thank you. Bye-bye.